Hey, good morning. This is Mini Pots again with a something else about hide, stone, and bone. I wanted to do a band creation video in the sense that I find it fun, and I'm sure a lot of people out there like this type of aspects of these types of games. Um, it's on page 21 of your rulebook, which or PDF, uh, and you have a choice of humans or Neanderthals. Um, I'm sure someone's going to correct me on that, but that's fine. But that's the choice in the game. Um, when forming a band, players have 200 moons to spend on hominids and equipment. Now, moons is your money in this game, which you watched long enough or enough of my videos, you already know that. Players may add one food to their store for 5 moons. All unspent moons are lost. You can't save time for later. That's the idea, is that the moon is a part of time that you have. And so each band member costs 20 moons. Players decide at creation if their hominid is male or female, and for humans whether a hunter or gatherer, as well as young adult, or elder. An adult may, for 2 additional moons, start with a randomly determined skill. An elder may start with up to 3 randomly determined skills, paying 1 moon per skill generated. Okay, so that's one way to do it. Um, I believe in a truly random band, and so I am going to roll a d10 to determine type. I'm going to do, in this case, I'm going to do, if you're a human, you would choose between hunter or gatherer. I'm going to do Neanderthal for the purposes of this band. So, of course, I started the game without having my dice handy, so hang on. And I'm back with my dice, and evens are male and odds are female. So in this case, this particular team or tribe, I'm going to reserve 20 moons for tools or equipment. So I have 180 to spend. So that would be, my math skills are glaringly have abandoned me this morning. So we're going to be at, if I'm counting right, 9. Yes, 9 tribal members. I know you thought, dude, this is what an idiot. But just sometimes, I do basic accounting for a living now. So an even is male. Well, this is not boding well for. But the nice thing about it is that this tribe will grow really fast. Not to mention the stamina. This is funny. Maybe I should try a different die, just in case, just to give this guy. Yeah. Okay. I'm not worried about the miniatures per se because of this, because the female Neanderthal will have to be hunters. So I'm not going to be worrying, but I wasn't going to worry about that anyway. Band members' age: young adult, adult, elder. What was it? I just did that. Older, adult. X is young adult. That's a funky looking Y, but that's okay. Young adult. Young adult. Young adult. Adult. And you have one youth for every adult band member, with elders granting 2 youths. So youths are your babies, are the little ones running around, the 1 through 8, 9, 10-year-olds, maybe 12, I don't know. The people that don't go out and actually hunt. We have 1, 2, 3. Now you can trade 1 youth for every adult band member. Elder granting 2. Up to half a band starting youths may be replaced with inventions. So, inventions. Flint-tipped spears. What are some of them? Oh, I see what they're doing. Okay. But you can't do that unless you both. So I have 3 young youth. I don't think I'm going to do that. I'm not going to trade my babies for tools or equipment. And so we have, remember I set aside 20 coins or moons to, I can't have any stone tipped anything. So I can have a fire hardened spear and clubs, bag. Those are useful. They get you more food when you're out. And stone knives, which you don't necessarily invent. Okay. So let's do, I do 9 and 3 fire hardened spears. I may have that. Let's do 1 carrying bag. And this is the cool thing. If you wanted to, you could have a fur cloak, and they help you get through tough times, winter. So 10 more points. Let's do fur cloak. And so right now we're at 3 times 3 is 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. Let's change that to a, I don't ever use these erasers, so let's see. Do that to 4. And then 3 clubs. Or 2 clubs. And 2 carrying bags. I know, my scribble, I will do it nice and neat later. This is my translation, or my start. Now, there's also, each adult begins the game with a single randomly generated skill. Each elder begins with 2 randomly generated skill. Now, this is part of the fun part to me. This is where you roll on a massive table of stuff. And so I only have an elder and adult, which is Lane. My die roll, that's funny. Oh, I should have had a different color one. Okay, hang on. I want to be back. So I have my D100s here. The chart only goes up to 50, which is ample. So obviously I'll be rolling and dividing by 2. I have 78, so I have 35, 39. Confident. What does that do? That is, as long as the model has not lost half its starting wounds, it treats its stress tokens as 1 less. So stress will influence whether or not you will stay in the combat or the situation, or you will try to flee, or how your reaction. So it's not a great one, but it's not a bad one. And we have 63, which is 32. Now you can choose Elder +2 to set fire. That's a firebug. So she goes into combat and gets experience. I probably would just make her an elder at that stage, in which case she would get a spell, and it's not. They have a historical version, or they have a fantastical where you can make wind. That sounds really weird, but some people just make wind naturally. But in this case, conjure wind, I guess would be. Some people again conjure wind naturally. Never mind. So my adult has 5-1, so we're at 21. I'm sorry, 25. And this quick reflexes are inspiring. I think I'm going to do quick reflexes. The dodge is the armor. So we have an idea. So if someone throws a rock at you or shoves a spear in your direction, you can shoves. Yeah, you would shove a spear. We have spears because we can throw them sometimes, but and since I'm going through here, so traditionally, if you killed buffalo or something like that, a model with a fur cloak ignores the requirement for extra food in winter because you need to have more um, calories to stay warm. So I will probably, like in my other game, start the game in springtime, which will throw some things off, but it doesn't do that much. And I don't, and I've bought a new phone holder with a built-in light, which I'm really excited about. Um, so we have a Neanderthal adult here who has stamina, which how many action points you can do, movement 4 inches, attacks value of 2, dodge of 1. So adult there will have a dodge of 2, which is great. Wounds, toughness, agility. Toughness is how it's sort of like a combination of things. How strong you are, as well as how hard it is for your opponent to do damage. Agility and stress. So you can see the Neanderthals are a little bit more primitive in a certain respect, in the sense that they automatically start with a stress of 2. And I wanted to go over real quick I did the fur cloak, and do I have carrying bag down here? They're temporary. They can expire or wear out. For every bag in the band, a single model assigned to survival may gather 50% more food that season, indicated. Rounding up, a model with a carrying bag may carry small items in a scenario without becoming encumbered. A gourd or woven satchel isn't a tool that readily stands the test of time. After every season, roll a d10 for each bag, and on a 1 or 2, it is gone. Okay, so there are certain skills where you could get stones before, so you could throw stones. And the club, let me go over the weapons so you know. Now I didn't buy the inventions, and sometime I might try to play that way, whether you start, but I'm enjoying starting from scratch and seeing your people, your tribe mature from truly rustic, primitive people, where they get flint-tipped weapons and they develop the atlatl, where they can toss the spear a little bit further, fur cloaks, war paint, all sorts of things. Okay, so that's the culture. So one of the things you can research is your culture, where you get different benefits from. But this is during gameplay, and I'm probably muddying the water of this brief thing on creating a team, but where you can go on a vision quest, develop medicinal herbs, but you have to have invented that. Poison. Art makes your extinction level go up, which is good, because if it goes down to 0, you die. Okay, now this is not helping me. I understand due to page restraints in this book that they probably needed to, they could have done a quick reference sheet at the back, but because of page restraints, they didn't do that. Okay, back here where I was. So we have your flint knife, you get +1 to attack, +1 to grapple. Grapple is when you have your hand-to-hand combat clubs, thrust +3 to attack, greater chance of hit, you have a dodge, and you can parry with it. Parry is a action which of course is not right here. Let's see if it's on the page before. If a model equipped with a weapon that has parry may add the weapon's dodge value or gain +1 to the model's attack value, even when the weapon has not been selected in a fight. So you can see where it would be. And then the fire hardened spear, +3 to attack, +1 to wound. That's important. Dodge, and they can stick out. They can attack an opponent 2 inches away, which is like a gentle or a real fearsome shove throw. They have to be two-handed in hand-to-hand combat. So if you can invent the flint-tipped weapons, you start getting like the two-handed or the stone-tipped spear, that's type of stuff. So let me go back to the invention thing. So during the course of gameplay, at the end of, you could set one of your tribal members to try to invent something. You roll a d10, and if you get a 10, in this case I rolled a 6. I know it says 60, but hopefully you can extrapolate how I got that. I won't get it, but if you rolled a 10, for sake of argument, I rolled a 10, yay! You would roll another d10, and you would get one of the inventions. So you would have hand weapons, range weapons, equipment, culture. So these, based upon our experience, we understand that, we already have torches. You could make a torch. It may not last very long, whatever, may be very primitive. And I don't mean a flashlight, but I mean taking a branch and something that's flammable, wrapping up that. We know how, but these folks didn't necessarily know how to do that, which I'm sure you can appreciate. Wolf pelts, but once you've invented that, it's cool, but you have to have killed wolves to be able to get the benefit of a wolf pelt. But you can see, so if I rolled a 7, I could do war paint. If I roll a 7 again, you would probably want to choose something else or re-roll. And so all these things open up different branches of the invention. So anyway, I know I'm rambling and this is taking way longer than it should have, but I have my Neanderthal group here, 9 members and 3 babies. Normally you would have started with a little bit more, and this is the youth are the next generation, obviously. And so this is going to be an interesting situation to see. So I should have probably done how many extinction points I have. Band's extinction points are determined by band creation. Each band begins the campaign with 2, plus 1 extinction for every 2 members of the starting band rounding up. So I would have 12, 13, 14, 15. And the rounding up is including youths, which are your baby. Losing raids, suffering from starvation, opposing bands successfully hunting all the local game, and having models killed reduces your extinction points. Any band reduced to 0 extinction points is assumed to have been driven off. Having use, ridding the area of predators, and other actions add extinction points. So I have potential of all the females having a child, which would add more. To make the band grow. Now it's assumed because these groups, your tribes are in a larger world, there's other tribal people out there that might float towards yours. You will have a chance if you capture another tribal member, another member from another tribe, your band will grow and then burst. One of your female hominids gives birth to youth. When this occurred, the band gains 1 extinction point per new youth. And I imagine this was a hard book to organize because of the multiple survival. Every moon dictates. I might have to. Maturing youth, procreation. So it's actually page 33. At the end of each season, roll a d10 for each female, young adult, and female adult. Okay, so I'd only have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 chances to have children. So you'd roll and I'm not going to do it now for jinxing myself. You'd roll these on a 9 plus they have a child, and add +1 to the result if there are an equal or greater number of non-youth males in your band. In that case, I don't have that. This is where it gets a little bit interesting, but I think you will understand what it means. If she survives the season, she reverts to normal, and 1 youth is added to the band. Females can procreate if your band has contained no males. Can't procreate if your band has contained no males for the past 2 seasons. It seems only right to note that childbirth, especially in this period, is fraught with peril. Women had a 1 in 3 chance of dying in childbirth during their childbearing years until the advent of modern medicine. So keep that in mind while you're playing this really fun, lighthearted game. The author felt that this was one tragic fact of prehistory we would not represent in game, largely because the rate is so high a band could face extinction through no fault of the player. Thank you, Mr. Author, for that. But this is my band creation, and I created a Neanderthal band. I will give them a name. And I had created a list of names here. And do I have my tribal name? I thought I did. So Deep Dawn. Let's call this the tribe of the Fertile Bear, or Fertile Dawn, or Deep Dawn. Anyway, if you have an idea on a tribal name, it doesn't have to be based off of this list. Let me know and put it in the comments below. right now, thank you very much for watching. If you made it this far, don't forget to do the thing. And I hate it when people say this, but sometimes that's what the stupid YouTube does, and lets me know that people are watching and like it. And thank you to those that do. Um, Also, in my description, there is a coffee, and I'm thinking of doing a couple other things, but we'll see about that with time. So, thank you again. Have a great one. Happy gaming.